Hi everybody, welcome back to a special episode of my Dungeon Boss rune crafting series. Today we are taking a look at the much anticipated change to the rune tuning. If we go into our in-game mail, there was a little mention about it in terms of new update. Essentially what it is it's adding a 13th tune, which is going to guarantee the legendary rarity status. So if you take a look at the forum post, you can see that the exact verbiage says the 13th attempt guarantees legendary rarity for, and I quote, a sizable gem cost. So the cost, 60 for lesser, 300 for improved, 780 for greater, and a whopping 1140 for superior. So what does this mean as far as rune crafting? How's that going to change things? Personally, I think you have to weigh the pros and cons of how much you value your gems. Those players who are a little bit lower in level or even mid-level, right in the 50s, kind of like my alt account is, if you don't have gems, you're not going to get heroic summons. Without heroic summons, you can't get a strong enough roster to do the tower daily and clear some of the tougher content. So you're kind of forced to use your gems for summons. If you're at some of the higher levels and you don't need the summons as much, you have a little bit more flexibility with your gems, but also you're going to be purchasing and doing superior runes. That's what I'm going to be doing today. So in addition to the fact that it guarantees legendary rarity, that's the main thing that people wanted. They didn't want to spend all these gems on tuning to find out that they're getting a 4-star heroic with not even a 4th stat. And so basically we said, okay, we will guarantee you a legendary rune, but it's going to cost you. That's basically straight from the dev's mouth right there. So now, with the extra 1140 plus what it already costs to do a superior rune, essentially we're looking at the cost of a times 10 summon in order to guarantee yourself a perfect rune. Now they did say that the tuning is supposed to be better when you do regular crafting and it's not going to reset every time. That's what we're going to do on video here today and see what actually, what that amounts to. My guess is I'm already committed to when I'm doing these runes. I'm pretty much committed to the full cost of them. So I'm assuming it's going to cost me 2,000 gems per superior rune. That's basically what I'm committed to. So personally, I know that going into it, I'm not going to go in with less than probably 2,500 gems. I don't remember the exact cost to fully tune a superior, but I don't want to be left hanging without any gems. Now in this case here, I have plenty of gems to work with, so I should be able to do quite a few. I've already pre-planned out the runes that I want to do, so you don't have to see me buying some of these miscellaneous materials to get all the crafting materials. There are 2 runes that I'm going to focus on, and the goal is to see if this new tuning system allows me to get basically legendary before I have to get to the very end. Now, one thing that I want to point out as a little PSA with this, that gem cost is going to be significant. Do not underestimate that cost, and do not, I repeat, do not waste it on an absolute junk rune. If you get a rune that has piss poor stats, do not level that thing up to legendary. It's not going to be worth it for you as far as what the gem cost is going to be. So even if you just scrounged up enough materials to do a superior one, maybe you just got a couple of shards because you're able to do a couple of the boss island legendaries, or you just bought them from the shop. I don't care where you got your shards and binders for. If you get a poorly designed rune to start with, do not commit to the full tuning. You're only going to regret it in the long run, especially with the level of gems that it's going to take. So my plan is to take a look at the rune that I'm going to get to start with, and hopefully it shows me 3 stats to begin with and not some really terrible rune. So the first one that I'm going to look at is I'm going to look at the water rune, and actually I want to do a precision rune. So I'm going to go superior precision. The reason being is these are sort of very sought after. Anybody who's spends time crafting the yellow or the blue runes knows that we're looking for that attack stat, and it's not very easy to get, and it's not very common. So I only have about 2 water runes that have an attack stat on them, and I would like a few more, to be honest. So if I get this and I get something like critical and dodge and more dodge, I'm probably going to scrap it right away. I don't want to go fully legendary on this rune unless I know 100% that there's an attack stat on there. So I might be sacrificing a really good 4th stat but we'll have to see what that stat actually is first. If it's a haste rune, yes, I will take it no matter what the terrible stats are. So I have enough to craft 2 of these. I'm expecting, honestly, I'm expecting both of them to not yield attack stats. So if I don't end up crafting this one, then I don't end up crafting it. So, but we do want to ultimately craft one of these to their full potential and see what this legendary gives us and how well the tuning works. So without further ado, let's get into either quote-unquote spending or wasting some gems, depending on 1, your point of view, and 2, kind of predicting the future here. The last couple of gems that I've crafted had been fairly successful. I did get a couple legendary runes out of them. Nothing great as far as the overall stats or the 4th stat, but still legendary superior runes. So I'm not going to complain, but that also means I'm due for some failures here. So we're looking for, if we can, critical attack. I don't even know if we can get a 3rd attack on the precision rune, but that's what I want. But any attack on here is going to be helpful. Like I said, you got to be ready to abandon this, though. And I'm not going to do it for a bunch of dodge. So crit, attack, crit. Literally probably the best we could hope for out of this rune. So now, basically what I've done is I've put myself on the line for a whopping, let's say, 2,400 gems, basically. I'm hoping that it goes better than that, but we don't know that. So here we go with our tuning. Now the tuning bar is not supposed to reset anymore. It's supposed to keep on progressing. So we are currently at middle of the road rarity. First tune, 5 stars. Can't complain with that. So now all we have to do is work on rarity. So we guaranteed the 5 stars, so we don't have to worry about any legendaries being 4 stars. So that's good when we actually get to the end. But if we can come away with this at just regular tuning cost and not the guaranteed superior, or the guaranteed legendary rather, then we're in for quite a bargain. So I'm not going to actually count up the gems. If you want to count them up yourself, you can. I've already lost track. I think it's like at 18, but you can count those yourself. And no improvement. That's what I'm expecting. Still junk. Still junk. This is exactly what I expect when I craft runes, is to be all junk. You have to be willing to lose all of your gems. But I know I'm going to get a good rune out of it in the long run with the crit attack crit. I just wish that it would happen sooner. So we can see the tuning gauge going up, but it's only halfway towards heroic, which is not very promising. So they said the tuning would get better. Personally, I don't think it's going to get better in terms of its roll chance. Well, it's going to guarantee heroic on the next one. But after that, I don't think it's still any better as far as individual tunes are going to get better. But here's my heroic. No 4th stat, so I kind of got screwed there. So I got 3 tunes left with, I don't know how far the rarity is going to take it here, but I'm trying to not have to pay that final cost. Yeah, see, that last little bit does not increase it very much, so we're not getting an extra %. There, we got it before the last one. So the downside to this, we didn't get a 4th stat. That is a major killer. But on the flip side, we also did save ourselves 1,140 gems. So is a 4th stat worth 1,100 gems? Depends what the stat is. If I knew, for example, what I was going to get, if I had a haste rune, I would have given up like 10,000 gems for that one, probably, just because it's so rare. Anyways, we can't tune it any further because it hit legendary, so there's nothing else we can do about it, but this will ultimately be a pretty good rune for us. If you've never seen a superior precision with the attack stat, I'll go ahead and I'll upgrade it right away just so you can see what the end value is, so you can determine if you want to craft this one yourself. Like I said, I was expecting to not get an attack stat, but I got lucky. So let's beef this up. Looks like it's going to hit about 300. 281 for attack, and then another basically 15% crit. So that's pretty sweet. We put it on somebody that's maybe got generally a low crit chance to start with. I'm ultimately looking for one of these for Kira, but Kira's already got so much crit that it seems like it'd be kind of a waste. But I will definitely find a home for this one for sure. Okay, being that I got the rune that I want, I'm not going to actually craft the second one. at least not yet. So we're going to switch gears and switch colors, go to the fire. The fire runes are the ones where I probably have had the least success out of all of them. When I craft the purple ones, I get a lot of power runes, a lot of good ones, and a lot of bulwark. Green, I've gotten a lot of great Aegis runes and a lot of good battle runes. The blue ones are the water runes. I've gotten a lot of good bulwark runes there as well. Red, I've tried both battle and power, and I just never seem to actually get that good a one. So now hopefully we get a nice little power rune here. We got, basically I'm going to go 2 tries at it again. I got enough materials for 2 of them. And again, the stats on a power rune are much better than most other runes, so we almost can't go wrong here. So let's actually take a quick peek, see what our first one's going to be. And terrible, terrible rarity. So we have attack and crit chance. I mean, attack is good. I would have liked to see the 3rd stat on here before I commit to it, because I don't really need crit. I would like attack, and then plus damage. So at this point, because it was such a terrible first roll, I said this might ultimately turn into a great rune. But like I said, you have to be willing to cut your losses and sacrifice a rune if it doesn't look good. What I don't want to get is attack and then crit and then maybe a % damage. I'm really looking for a double attack rune. If I'm not getting a double attack rune, it's ultimately not what I want anyways. And I'm not going to spend 2,000 gems on something that I don't really, really want. So that last one was a great rune. I was committed to that one. This one I am not committed to. So I will accept this one, and then I'll try it again. And we still have another uncommon. This is basically the exact same rune. Do I like it? No. So what I will do is I'll just take this one as well, and we'll try it once more. I just got to round up some of these shadow spirits, so bear with me a little bit. I do, in fact, want to craft this rune. So unless the next one is really, really terrible, I will just go ahead and craft it for you. My motto's always been, I spend the gems so you don't have to. So just get a couple of these. And this is all for you to benefit to determine if you want to use this new mechanic. So let's cross our fingers here. Power. Superior. Come on. And this is my last elemental essence too. It better not be primary critical stat. We got 2 attacks. So no matter what the 3rd stat is when we get there, we're sitting good. So the best thing that could happen to this one now is that we get a really killer 4th stat. And if we do, I'll be happy. I don't expect this one to get the legendary because it's uncommon right now. I don't expect it to get the legendary before the final tuning. So this one here may very well cost us the full gems. So let's see how long it actually takes us to get out of the dumpster here and into actual, well, at least we tune it once and it gets the full bar up. So why it even allows you to have the superior rune that low if it's just going to give you the next rarity on the next one. I mean, seems kind of stupid. They should just all start at the middle of the road rarity. Attack, damage. That's literally the best power rune you can get. It cannot be any better unless we get a 4th stat that takes things to a whole new level. So I'm okay with 2,000 gems for this because I know it's going to be a great end product. If we get the 4th stat when we get to heroic, that'll be nice because at least it'll have peace of mind. We've got the 5th star, so that's good. There's our heroic. No 4th stat. I don't know if there's a mechanic where if it reaches heroic and doesn't get the 4th star, if the legendary just also doesn't have 4th stat. Not star, the stat. I don't know if that's the case or not. It'd be nice if I still have a shot at the 4th stat, but something tells me this is not going to happen. But you also want to see, shoot, I really wanted to use that final tuning. Well, we got the superior, and we got the best possible rune, sans the 4th stat. So I really would have liked to have the 4th stat. I guess maybe they're a little bit rarer than I give them credit for. I've been so used to just seeing random ones like plus damage versus plants or something stupid like that. So I guess I don't know, that's the case. But this got to superior at the exact same point as the last one did. Not superior, sorry, I keep saying superior. It got to legendary at the same point as the last one, so it did save me the max number of gems here. You can see the last one here, 1140 for that final tune. That is the very last one for this one. But let's go ahead and accept this one. We have, let's see, 350, 400, 500 attack without it being upgraded. This one here is likely going to go over 900 for attack. And this rune here will be no slouch. So who it's going to go on to, I think you probably already know who it's going to go on to. And just to let you know, it's going to go on Kira. Right now I have a pretty awesome rune on Kira. He's got a plus 10% PvP damage, but the way that attack scales, I think adding extra attack might actually scale higher than that. So 596, let's call it 600, 800, 872, so it's basically 900. So it's up there. It's a great rune. 280 power, so I like that. But it's a good power rune. So we didn't see the final tune on here, and to be honest, there's no new mechanic really. It's not going to tell you that by the way, you're down to your last tune, are you sure you want to use this and guarantee the legendary? You saw that there's one tune left and it costs 1140. It's basically just a 13th level. If you're not paying attention, you'll just go right through it and realize that, oh, I just spent the gems on it. In the grand scheme of things, I did get 2 runes and I spent about 2,000 gems on them. So I still have enough gems left over for my live stream. So if we need to do some rune crafting there or even some heroic summons, at least I got something to work with. So now whether or not this is going to be worth it for you now, basically, like I said, think about what it's going to cost you to commit to the full upgrade. Are you going to get to superior legendary before you get to that final tune? I can't tell you there. Like I said, when I do rune crafting, I am always committed to the full cost, provided that the end result matters. Those first few that I scrapped, even though that cost me shards and binders, I know that the end product was going to be garbage, so I'm not going to commit to something like that. Anyways, hopefully this was somewhat informative. Maybe you'll be a little bit more willing to spend some gems on crafting. I do recommend that you only use this for greater and superior. Lesser and improved crafting seems to be getting lesser and lesser important. Unless you're really low and have tons of gems to blow, I wouldn't ever even craft a lesser rune. You can get improved runes pretty easily, just by playing. So anyways, that's all I got for now. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to leave them in the comments. Otherwise, we will see you again tomorrow for a really, really, really awesome hopper video. Thanks. Thank you so much for watching this video and supporting my channel. If you like this video, please show your continued support by hitting that like button, and be sure to check out both my YouTube channels for new content all the time. And always remember, peace is a lie, there's only passion. We'll see you next time.